So it is Anita Desai's This call is now being recorded. Clear Light of the Day. Uh, as far as Anita Desai is concerned, a great uh, Indian English woman writer in Indian English uh, novelist. Her daughter Kiran Desai she is also a writer, also uh, has been very famous as far as uh, novel writing is concerned, Indian English writing is concerned. She has already received Man Booker Prize or Man Booker Award for her novel, that is Inheritance of Loss. I think all of you know it. As far as Anita Desai is concerned, she was born on 24 1937 in Mussoorie. Father Dhiren Majumdar, a Bengali. Mother a German, and her name is Antoinette, Antionett, Antoinette. Uh, so uh, she came from a family where parents having uh, a different culture, also using different language. That is why naturally she's a polyglot. Polyglot means knowing uh, more than one language, many languages. She left Germany uh, as far as her mother is concerned. She left Germany before Nazi prosecutions and settled in India. Desai inherited multilingual background. Uh, Published first piece of writing at, at the age of 7. Then she was graduated from Miranda House, Delhi University, with English honors. So that is why it is natural that she had a creative genius, and that is why we find her producing beautiful novels. She had married to um, uh, Ashwin Desai, an executive. She had 4 children. Having 4 children, Kiran Desai, I have already told, was won Man Booker Award. Now, Kiran Desai is living in England as a professor of English, teaching creative writing uh, at the University of Holyoke College. Okay, so this is a short note on the writer. She has written a number of novels. The first novel is Cry the Peacock. Cry the Peacock, 1990, a feminist novel. Then Voices in the City, 1982. Again, this is also a feminist novel. Bye Bye Blackbird, 1985. Where Shall We Go This Summer, 1975. Fire on the Mountain, 1977. And this novel, Clear Light of Day, 1980. In Custody, there is another novel, 1988. And Baumgarten's Bombay, Bombay, 1989. So these are some of the novels. Besides, she has also some short stories to her credit. Uh, Games at Twilight, London, 1978. Village by the Sea, a long story, 1982. Uh, Also, she has written a number of children's stories and also some plays. As far as uh, her choice of language is concerned, actually, she grew up, as she says in one of the interviews, I grew up in German, Bengali, Hindi, and English, but English is my language of novels, and because it answers all my needs. So this is some of the one of the uh, beautiful statements that she gives as far as English is concerned. English gives answers all my needs. So this is the statement she gives using English as um, the language of her novels. As far as all these novels are concerned, maximum novels, most of the novels are female based, right? We'll see how in this novel also how she is using uh, uh, female issues and some other post-colonial issues we'll discuss. As far as the title of the novel is concerned, Clear Light of Day, uh, uh, the title signifies that the protagonist, Beam, Beam Das, the protagonist, a woman from a middle class family, as she finds hurdles in life, as she faces a lot of troubles in life, as she is overburdened with life. She is facing as an unmarried woman, as she is facing a number of hurdles in life. There has been a clash uh, in her mind whether to accept some responsibility or to abandon it. So taking this fact in mind, that this as a number of um, there is a class in her mind, there is a lot of irony is going on in her mind. So she finds gradually that in spite of the fact that there is darkness, there is a gloomy atmosphere, there is a lot of bitterness that this life has given, still she finds some light. Okay, and particularly, one day she finds that whatever has happened to her, in spite of the fact that she has been uh, mistreated, she has been harassed, she has been abandoned by her family, by her brother, by her sister, still she has been also humiliated in many instances. Still, she forgives everybody and finds a clear light of the day. So that is the day actually she discovers herself. She discovers her own identity as an enlightened woman, as a woman of refinement, as a woman of high standard. Uh, she has evolved from like a like phonics. That is a in myth, in Greek myth, there is a bird, phoenix. I think you know it. Phoenix, phoenix, who has been born again and again, but um, every time she rises from the bird rises from the ash and lives an eternal life. So this is how, like phoenix, she her life has not been stopped anywhere. Has her life, her um, um, uh, her acceptance is very wide, and she accepts everything whatever comes in her life and forgives everybody. So she is an evolved character, and we find a lot of value, a lot of um, virtue, feminine virtue in her character. We will discuss it. So this is how clear light of day means, as Beam finds, the main protagonist finds in her life that darkness is disappearing day by day and light is coming in her life. Clear light. The light is very clear. There is no hesitation. There is um, uh, no hindrance. Nothing. The weather is becoming it is turning finer and finer. The worse weather that she has faced is now turning very fine. So this is how we find some sense as far as the title of the novel is concerned. Uh, so we'll discuss some of the yes, I will throw some light on the use of language as far as uh, Kiran Desai is concerned. Uh, Very often she has been admired by many critics, uh, and we see. In Kiran Desai's novel, there is a shift from the collective to the personal, from communal to the individual. So she has a unique style as far as her techniques is concerned. So she gives importance to the individual character. She throws light on the individual's character rather than describing or narrating the community as a whole or the collective, the family life as a whole or the communal life, community life as a whole. So she gives importance to the personal uh, life and throws light on some special um, on the special sides or some special uh, angles, and as a result, her some most of the characters they evolved from phase to phase, from the beginning to end. The characters they evolved. So there is a evolution of characterization or individual's life, as we find in most of the novels, most of her novels. Her heroines represent the creative realization or feminine sensibility. So most of the heroines, actually, most of the novels are heroine based, women based. The protagonists they are women. Some are traditional women like Beam. Some are also modern women like Tara. We will discuss. So they represent the creative realization of feminine sensibility or feminine virtue. We will discuss this aspect. They are more concerned for their emotional needs. Um, so as we find most of the characters, particularly the protagonists, they are concerned for their emotional needs, emotional fulfillment. We'll see it in this novel how she has used the journey to selfhood and freedom are some of the important features uh, in her novels. Inner worlds of her characters is, is, is more important than the outer world. As she narrates the characters, the individuals, um, both men and women, actually she gives importance to the inner world. So her inner world analysis is something unique as far as Indian English fiction is concerned. Uh, Desai's mother character, this is another aspect as far as her novels are concerned. Her mother characters, those who are mothers in her stories, uh, they have some special character. Desai's mother characters are not at all traditional. The mothers are not at all traditional. For example, Sita in one of her novels, Where Shall We Go This Summer? There is a novel. The Sita is the protagonist, and in this novel, Sita refuses to give birth to her child. So this is very very important. Sita gives birth. Sita refuses to give birth to her child in a hostile world, and she says that in such a hostile world, a hell-like world, the world full of suffering. So better not to bring any children. So she refuses to give birth. So this is one of the special aspects of our mother characters. Another novel, Voices in the City. Monisha's mother, in the Voices of the City, she doesn't hesitate for an extramarital affair. So you see how the characters represent postmodern Indian civilization, Indian society. This protagonist, the mother, doesn't hesitate um, for an extramarital relationship. Then again, actually, in this novel, which we are going to discuss, Beam's mother, uh, in the clear light of day, is extremely selfish and self-absorbed. So here is a also in this novel, Beam's mother actually she doesn't take care of her children and abandons her children. As a result, actually, the family is breaking down, but Beam is repairing it. Uh, beam is carrying the burden of the family. So we'll discuss um, now. Let us discuss some of the major characters of this novel. Clear Light of the Day. Clear Light of the Day is primarily a psychological drama between two women and telling their family story from their own perspective. So this is as I have already told, most of the novels are female based. Women are the leading characters, the protagonists, the main characters, the central characters. Here also, two women, they are very important characters, and this is the story of two women. One is uh, Bim, and another one is Tara. This is primarily psychological drama. So, as we find the story, as we read the story, we find there is a psychological drama, and as the story develops, we find a clear um, psychology. We find how the characters they evolve and how their psychological aspect, their psychological trauma is becoming very clear from phase to phase. As you know, uh, this novel is based on Eliot's four quartets. I will also discuss this aspect. As a student of English literature, uh, as a literature student, Anita Desai, she has read very clearly. She is very familiar with Eliot's works, particularly Westland and Four Quartets. Four Quartets is a philosophical poem written by T.S. Eliot, and this poem has four quartets, means four poems, right? Four poems, and this poem is based on time, philosophical aspect of time, how Eliot is discussing time, narrating time, and reflecting uh, how time is passing from past to present and from present to future, and whether there is a future or not. So accordingly, uh, whether time is linear or circular. Very beautiful lines are there. My beginning is my end is my beginning. This is a very important line. Time past, time future, both content in the time, time past and time future, both content in the time future. So the 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 point is, uh, Eliot's quartets, the techniques of that poem, four quartets, has been used um, by Anita Desai in this poem, in this story, as that poem has four parts, four quartets. Similarly, the story has been uh, divided into four parts, and as the poem develops in a to and fro motion, uh, Eliot discusses past, again discusses the present, again future. So sometimes uh, he describes present, again goes to the past, again goes to the future. So so in a zigzag way, in a to and fro motion, in a forward and backward motion, the story develops. In the same way, um, she has been influenced by Eliot and designed her novel in that way. So that is very very important. So we find how the life of these two women, Bim and Tara, how their story is developing in a to and fro motion, in a forward and backward motion. So that technique has been used. The story by Anita Desai has four parts, and we'll see how uh, she has used um, different techniques to develop these two characters. It enables the women to show their differences. Not only she discusses these two characters in her story, but at the same time, she also shows how, in a parallel way, there, there is a difference in their life. There is a difference in their attitude, in their desires, in their needs. How there is a difference, and how two characters are running in a parallel way. Uh, Now, let us uh, take some of the characters. Bhim Das, right? Bhim Das is the protagonist of the story. In the Das family, Bhim Das, a history teacher. Bhim Das is a history teacher, unmarried, eldest Das daughter. She is now at over 40, still lives in the decaying family, in the decaying family home situated on the outskirts of the old Delhi. Actually, they were staying, the family was staying in the old Delhi. Uh, Physically, though she is not beautiful, but mentally and spiritually she is at peace with herself. She represents the old India. She represents the old India. I mean, the old, actually, they were staying in old Delhi, though they were dwelling in old Delhi, but most of the characters they are except they are escapist. They are escaping from Delhi. They are going somewhere. For example, Tara is going abroad after her marriage with a diplomat. Then Raja, another character, she is also escaping. She is going to Hyderabad, leaving the family in a very uh, tragic situation. But here is here is the protagonist. Beam is very committed, though the situation is very worse. Still, she takes the responsibility and she represents the old India. Tara. Now let us come to Tara. Tara, an Indian diplomat's wife, uh, just the opposite of Beam, attractive, sophisticated, and too worldly. She is leading a very worldly life. She is looking at the external side of life. She is living in a decorative culture. Decorative culture means a culture where actually life, there is pleasure in living, there is a pleasure in decorating your life, in showing your life to the world, to the people around you, that you belong to a rich family, you have this, that. So you are different from others, right? That means in that way you project your ego and you get satisfaction out of it. So that is how Tara's character is gone, is like that. Uh, Her poise in the is merely an exterior quality, in spite of her seemingly successful marriage. Actually, though there is a successful marriage with this diplomat, um, still, actually, she is not satisfied with this. She moves to the abroad, to some foreign countries. She visits to some foreign countries with her husband, but still she is not satisfied. Whenever she comes to Delhi, she is engaged in showing her decorative uh, lifestyle. She represents New India after 1947. So we find also, though some elements of the story relates to the partition of India, at the same time we also find the post-independent India, some like Tara, how post-independent India is actually moving away from the old India, how the old culture is changing as India is moving ahead, keeping pace with the other nations. So this aspect of Tara's lifestyle represents modern India or your post-independent India. Then there is another character, Babu, Baba Das. Baba Das, Bhim and Tara's retired brother. Uh, of course, the author has projected her, the author has presented Baba as a retired son of Das family.
Sorry, sir, to interrupt. Tara and Beam are friends or sisters or what in the relation?
They are sisters. They are sisters. Okay,
Okay, sir.
they are sisters. Baba is their retired brother. They so there is a conflict uh, whether he should be abandoned or he should be taken care of. So that is the question. You see, two girls. Uh, one had already married, and another still actually she cannot marry because she cannot leave the family. The parents are very careless. They don't look at the family. They don't consider that it is their responsibility to look at the family, to take care of the family. So now the responsibility is lying with the two sisters. Okay, of course there is a brother. um, Raja is there. Raja is turning away, and Tara is turning away, uh, leaving this Baba Das. This Baba, the character, very retired son of the Das family. But Beam is coming forward. Beam is taking responsibility. We will discuss on that point how Anita Desai actually uh, she has created a very bold character. Uh, though she represents the old India, still she is not less modern. Uh, so she is a history teacher, teaching history in a college, local college, and she is coming forward to take care of Baba. Bhim and Tara's retired brother, although in his 30s, he's already more than 30, still looks like a child, quite innocent and unaffected by the events all around him. He's fat, lethargic, dependent on Bhim, who cares um, of his every need or every wish. So this is how we find a character, and this character has been very symbolic in a very symbolic way. This character has been used in the story. This is in old India. There are uh, so many things are there. So many old values are there. Whether that should be taken care of or not. Like in this family, Baba is retired. Baba is completely uh, unmoved, cannot move anywhere, cannot do anything. Now the question is it a fact that this fellow is useless? This fellow is useless. Can we consider this fellow as a useless? Can we abandon this fellow? Being retarded, unable to move, unable to think, unable to do anything. So now the question is, should we abandon, should we avoid taking care of this boy who is retarded? So while answering this question, actually a lot of conflict is going on in the minds of both the women, Tara and Beam. But Tara is escaping. At the same time, the brother is escaping. Raja is also escaping. Whereas this lady, this woman, Beam is coming forward and taking all the responsibility. And for that reason, she is also sacrificing her life, not getting time to um, go for marriage and to fulfill her feminine needs. Uh, and another character is Bakul, 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 Tara's husband, a diplomat, handsome, successful, and aggressive, considers the family obsession with the past. To some extent, foolish and tedious. He has left the old India and had entered the larger world, giving lip service to the idea of Mother India. So, a very interesting character. Uh, as a diplomat, uh, she is frequently living. She is frequently is going abroad in the foreign nation and as a diplomat, and his duty is to represent India uh, to explain the world what India is and what is the value of India, what is the image of India. But he is foolish in many ways because he only gives lip service, doesn't reflect any Indian virtue or Indian. typical Indian attitude. He doesn't have any typical Indian attitude. Rather, he is giving lip service when he is going abroad. He is explaining well to the foreign country. And I think as far as this character is concerned, there is a dialogue between Beam and this Bakul. When Beam asks, whenever in a foreign land, what do you do? How do you do your job? How do you, what approach you accept? What challenges you face? He says that what is the best in India? What is the finest matters in India? Um, I only reflect on it. I explain the foreigners on that aspect, but I do not reveal whatever ugly in India, whatever caste politics and um, riots, conflict in religion, and all that. I don't reveal it to the foreign people. And but when he comes to India, he gives long speeches. What India is, what should be, what should not be, etc., etc. But he doesn't consider to reflect any of the idea of India in his own life. That is why when the family is in distress, he is also turning his face away. He is also not giving importance to it, rather leaving the family and doesn't consider that it is a duty responsible to take care of the this helpless family. So here is a hypocrite, a very hypocrite, a very hypocrite Indian who are actually after independence. So many officers, um, IAS officers, IFS officers. So India has produced so many genius people, so many good people, but as far as their duty responsibility is concerned, actually they don't reflect any idea of India, um, any sort of value, Indian values. Rather, they only involved in giving lip service about Mother India. Raja Das is another important character, the eldest son of the Das family, um, a romantic hero, reads and writes poetry, dreams of heroics, and possesses a total devotion to his um, sister who nurses him to health during his long illness. So one day he fell ill and his illness continued for a long period, and this Beam um, sister served, served him, and he was all right. He breaks the family norms by marrying a Muslim woman, then leaves Delhi for Hyderabad and becomes a successful business. Actually, as far as the story is concerned, he is marrying a girl outside the family norms. He was a Hindu, but marrying a Muslim girl because the Muslim girl's father, she was the only daughter of that family. Um, uh, the father was very rich of that area, and he had a lot of property. And to win that property, actually, he is marrying this girl and becoming the owner. And interestingly, actually, the house where this family is living, the house where the family is living, uh, actually, it belongs to that man, uh, Hyder Ali. It belongs to that man, and he is now after the death of that his in-law, he is becoming the owner of that house. And one day he is writing a letter when he is leaving Delhi and going for Hyderabad. When he is staying in Hyderabad, he is writing a letter to Beam saying that okay, you stay in that house, though I am the owner of that house. I am now a landlord, but uh, um, I am not going to collect rent from you. Okay, you live there. So you see how he humiliates the family, particularly Beam. Beam who served throughout her life to this family and to Raja. Now actually he is writing a letter saying that okay, I am not going to impose any rent on you. You are free to stay there. So this aspect of materialism, material greed, and ego is also reflected in this novel. There is another character, Miramasi, Mirasi, Miramasi, the aunt of Das family. She is uh, she is actually a widow. She is a widow in her youth, and she comes to this family to serve the children as a nurse. So this is as far as her life is concerned. Uh, there is no chance of though she is at her youth. There is no chance of. There is no question of remarriage. Nobody is concerned for that. Actually, she as if the whole life is completely becoming a tragedy, becoming a kind of a curse because in old India remarriage was not so easy. Nobody has um, nobody was giving importance to that. As a result, actually, she is living in this family as a nurse. Now, as far as the themes are concerned, we find psychological sense of exile and alienation, psychological sense of exile and alienation. In this context, old jealousies of the two sisters come up again as they reflect on how they were earlier. Tara quite of delicate feelings and less confident. Uh, Beam was stronger, abler in school and attractive. Um, but interestingly, what happens as the story develops, we find a great difference in their character. Uh, while Beam is Beam is actually carrying the uh, taking the responsibility of the family. Uh, Beam is showing her mercy, showing her manliness, or showing her whatever. Sorry, the power problem of my phone. Okay, 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 okay. There is a power problem in my mobile. I'm trying to solve it. So as far as one, hello, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir, I cannot hear your voice.
Sir has left. He's not there. He needs to rejoin again.
Okay.
Hello, sorry.
Perhaps class has stopped now.
I think we should dismiss it.
Yes.
Yes.